What's up guys, my name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this 2011 Avalon. Now guys, my parents just acquired this 2011 Avalon, exactly the same as ours. Now that was done on purpose because we love this car. It is an incredible vehicle. Its quality and reliability, off the charts. So now that we have it in our possession, we need to go over it inside and out and detail it to our standards. So we're going to show you guys a couple of things that can help you with purchasing a vehicle and picking out some things before you make that purchase. Now this is not going to get into any mechanical stuff. I'm not a mechanic, so this is really going to be purely based on more of the aesthetics. Now true, you do want to make sure that the vehicle is in good mechanical order. Obviously, that is number one. But closely following that, number two, is the look of the vehicle. How was it treated? Because that will tell you a lot about how it was driven and the mechanical standpoint of it as well. So let's take a look at both the inside and out, and we'll kind of pick it apart and see what things we can find. Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. So guys, like I said, it is exactly the same year and model as ours, but I like this color a lot. It is beautiful. So this like metallic sage green color is really nice, looks very refined. So let's go over it and see what things we can find. Off the bat, you can see it's definitely swirly, and it also has a lot of sap on here. Now, unfortunately, that is going to leave some etching marks on the paint. We'll see how much of that we can remove, but yep, there's definitely some pretty deep etchings in the paint already. But that aside, we'll be able to make this thing look incredible. Now, I'm going to pop the hood in a moment and show you what's under here, because all these pine leaves just make a mess on my nice clean floor. Well, probably shouldn't do that. There we go. Now, the tires and the wheels are nice. The wheels definitely need some help. This one isn't too bad. But when we look at this one back here, the brake dust has eaten into it a little bit. So we're going to see how we can remove that, make it look better. We might remove the wheel. We'll see. Maybe not in this video, but in subsequent videos. This will also be part of the weekend wash series. So you can see I do love the color of this paint. It is really nice. Let's see if we can focus in on the metallic flake. Yeah, I like that. That is nice looking. But you can see all the seams in here are really grungy. We want to flush all those out and treat the rubber as well as possible in there. Same goes with the sunroof. It is, yeah, it's pretty rough. And all these edges here. So we'll make sure to look at all the rubber here. I can feel that it's pretty rough and we have that mildew starting on it already. But let's see what we could do in fixing that, making it look better. Now the inside is this beautiful cream, almost like a custard color. And it has brand new black floor mats, so that's nice. The carpets themselves are actually in really good shape. The leather always cracks here. It's just, you know, a sore point in the vehicle. It always does that. So we can clean the leather, but the cracking there, you really can't do much with unless you need to repair it. Now, as we look over here, ugh, man, they left a nice mess for us. They didn't even clean the vehicle properly before they got it. So all of this needs to be cleaned up. Yep. Gross. In here, not as bad, but just these areas, it's where people eat and drink and it gets all nasty. So we'll clean that. And taking a look at the back carpets and the back leather, really not too bad. It's a little grungy. We'll clean that up, but the carpets really don't need much at all. So we'll clean up that dash and interior. We'll probably get to the carpets later, and we'll just do a light clean of the leather. So we'll tackle the leather at another time, but I do want to get that cockpit all nice and clean so that my parents can drive it and not feel like they're in a grungy car. So continue looking around the vehicle. There's something about this trunk lid that doesn't look quite right. So we'll take some readings on it because I think it was repainted. Pretty sure the bumper was too. It's misaligned here, just like ours. Ours is misaligned. It did have a little fender bender. Somebody crunched it in the back. And you can see it here. It's not quite aligned correctly. So I think this was repainted. I could tell by the texture of it as well. So we'll examine that a little bit closer. And here we get to these wheels. Yeah, they're really bad. So we'll see how we can clean those up. I'm pretty sure they'll clean up. So we might have to get a little aggressive in cleaning those wheels. And then just, you know, general nastiness. They picked it up in the rain, so It's kind of gross, but it's not horrible. It's just, you know, they didn't pay attention to those little areas that really needed to be cleaned. So let's pop the hood. Ooh. Oh, that's a big mess. Yeah, so all of the pine needles in there, and it's just generally gross. So we'll clean all of that out. We'll make that look really, really nice for them and clean all up here. So guys, those are some important, blah, 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 blah. So guys, those are some important things that you want to look at. Look at the paint carefully. If you have a detailer that you use, you know, it doesn't hurt to pay them a little bit and bring them along, or maybe not bring them along, but have them check out the vehicle also. That's just a smart thing to do because we'll pick out all the flaws in the vehicle and show you what may not be in the Carfax or that, you know, the dealership or the person just doesn't want to disclose. So I already know that there are portions of this that were repainted and the paint has got some issues. That's not to take away from the sale value or to try to talk the person down from their price. That helps, but it's really just for your own peace of mind, to make sure that you know what you're getting into, and it's better to know that before you purchase it. So guys, let's pull this thing out. Let's start cleaning it and deconning it. I at least want to do a full wash. I want to decon it, clay bar it, maybe Iron X, maybe some tar. I think I saw some tar in the bottom there, and definitely take care of those wheels, at least the face of them. We'll probably take them off later in a different video to clean all the inside, because I actually want to take them off, clean them, and then coat them, and then put them back on. Obviously put them back on. But for now, let's just focus on getting it cleaned, and then we'll focus on the interior cockpit as well and get that cleaned, all of the glass cleaned, just so it feels better. I want my parents to feel better when they climb into this thing because it is a new to them car and they just got it all registered and ready to drive today. So I want to get it ready for them so that they can be able to enjoy it like we've enjoyed our Avalon. So let's get started. The rinse and pre-wash process is one of the most important steps. We thoroughly rinse and degrease the paint with an all-purpose cleaner degreaser. This begins the wash process by softening and removing the majority of the dirt and road grime from the paint, wheels, and tires. The engine is also rinsed and degreased. Later, we pull it into the garage and dry and dress the engine plastics with 303 aerospace protectant. The door jambs, trunk lid, and gas cap areas are also degreased and flushed out with the pressure washer. Now these wheels are in rough shape. We used a few different cleaners to remove the heavy baked-on brake dust. In the end, the iron remover gel really helped to dissolve the brake dust. We also decided to chemically decon all the lower panels with the iron remover, letting it dwell for a few minutes. However, it didn't really have any iron to dissolve, which is a good thing. But don't feel that you have to use iron and tar removers all the time. Only use them if and when needed. If you will be performing a full paint correction or paint enhancement or ceramic coating,
It's a good idea to at least use it on a few panels to see if there is anything to dissolve. But stop if you notice that it's unnecessary. You don't want to waste product.
No, there's some utility. And some sap.
Yeah, there's some sap. Yep. So guys, we did the full rinsing APC. So guys, we did the full rinsing and the APC rinse, and I did do an iron chemical decon first before I even touched it, just to see what it would pick up. And it certainly picked up things on the back, and we had to try a couple of different chemicals to get these wheels clean because they were really bad. But we were able to clean them. They look really good now. So on to the paint, and the paint definitely is pretty gritty, pretty rough. So we're going to use the clay mitt on all the top surfaces and the clay bar for all the bottom surfaces. And then we use a nice little soft brush to get all of the seams and crevices and cracks to get them all flushed out and clean. Oh, that's gritty. Awesome. It's feeling nice and smooth. Oh, wow. Great.
Just for these sap bits.
Yeah,
there,
sap
there,
bits right there. Yep.
there. Wow, that's awesome.
So that mitt won't remove sap, not those big chunks of sap. It will remove all the other bonded contaminants, but not sap. So, yep, we'll have to tackle those in a moment. But let's get to all these emblems and stuff. I already did a bunch here, but I missed a few things. So a nice soft brush like this is perfect. It's not going to scratch or damage anything. You can get all these areas here. And I flushed these really well with the power washer already. And back here, get underneath the plate. And I will remove this plate once we get in there because we have new plates to put on. Nice. So the Avalon is pulled in, and we're now going to dry all the top surfaces, but I have to clay bar the bottom surfaces. I left it alone so we can pull it in here and clay bar it, just by choice. No rhyme or reason to it. I just figured I wanted to pull it in here and work on it. But look how nice the wheels turned out. Really nice. So they had some really heavy brake dust, and I thought it was going to be burnt on, but after a couple of different chemicals and applications of iron remover, and we did use some high alkaline products from Extreme Solutions. We use wheel brightener, which is an acid base from Meguiar's. So between all three of those chemicals, we were able to clean up the wheels, and now they look really, really nice. So that's good. I'm happy about that. But everything else is now flushed out. All the door jambs, all the cracks and crevices, they're all flushed out, and the paint is at least smooth. There's a few little, oh, that's sap, right? We got to remove the sap. So we'll do that in a moment. So we're going to use some lithium clay bar and some Detailer's Garage, or American Detailer's Garage Wipeout for a clay lube. And all of these areas, yes, I'll remove the license plate in a moment, relax.
You're not a real detailer because you don't do this and you don't remove that. You wash with the foam on it, that's scratching it.
It doesn't make sense at all, no. It doesn't make sense. To wash your car with the foam on it scratches your paint. Eesh. Even after everything that we tell people and show people, oh well. Poor sad little humans. So after chemical deconning, yeah, still got some nasties on here. But it wasn't too bad. Now it's nice and smooth and feels great. Let's see what happens when we do the sides. It's a little bit. Not too bad. Oh, now the engine looks beautiful. So we'll let this dwell, let it soak into the plastics. We'll wipe down anything that needs to be wiped down, but now that looks proper. Much, much better. So if you were going to sell your vehicle, this is what you want it to look like. Get it properly cleaned and detailed so that the next potential owner will pop the hood and look at this and say, all right, well, that was well kept. It gives you confidence in selling it, and it gives the buyer confidence also in buying it. So that's great. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's remove the sap, and I'm not going to go into polishing this yet, but I will in later videos. So stay tuned for that. We will start to polish sections and do some different coatings and different sealants and things like that on the vehicle. So let's get to removing the sap. We'll choose some sort of a spray sealant to go on top of it for now, and then we'll tackle the inside.
We also dressed the exterior plastics with Stoner's Trim Shine, including the windshield cowl. Now, the inside glass of the moonroof is usually one of the worst areas to clean because of the outgassing. So we have found that using a damp towel with just water helps to mop up the heavy residue, making it much easier to clean. We can use this method to clean the inside of windshields that also have that heavy outgas residue. Then just use a dry towel and a little bit of glass cleaner to buff away any residue.
So guys, we are just finishing up here. I'm just cleaning the shifter knob, just using a dedicated leather cleaner, but we do have some wear at the top here we have to be really careful with, but all the makeup buildup here is gone. It's looking much better now, looking really nice and clean. But don't go too aggressive. I'm not going to steam this or anything because it's just too, worn down already. You got to be really careful with it. But as far as all of the areas in here, everything is nice and crisp and clean. Oh, so much nicer. And here as well, we, dug in there and make sure everything was cleaned. All these little cubby holes, nice and cleaned. Pulling the shifter back, making sure all these areas are clean and wiped down. All the buttons in between all these seams, making sure they're nice and clean. And it's looking really good now. So, there's a little bit, I see a little bit in these seams here. There we go. Sometimes you have to just go back over it and make sure that you got all of these little areas here, because from different angles it's hard to see sometimes. There we go. Nice. So that's looking fresh. All the door panels and plastics and leather looking great. Now, the carpets. We have these black factory mats that I believe were replaced. They're brand new. So the carpets themselves are not bad. There's only a few little stains here and there, which we'll tackle those later. But overall, the inside of the car is now clean. Glass is looking nice and crisp as well. So now let's just do a light protection on the paint, dress the wheels or dress the tires, and then we'll be done. So guys, the interior is looking nice for now. We'll do some more work on it later. The paint is also looking nice for now. We'll do more work on it later. This thing definitely needs to be polished. It needs a few other little adjustments and things like the headlights and taking care of the trim and a few other things. But now that it's washed, it's smooth, it's deconned, it looks really good. I still got to remove that little bit of sap there. I'm going to protect it just quickly. Something very quick, very easy. And what we're going to use is actually a new product. Actually, I have two products to choose from, and I don't know which one I want to use. This is the new product from Extreme Solutions called Topper. This stuff, we've already used it kind of like a quick detailer. It's really nice. So you can use this on top of coatings and sealants and waxes and things like that, kind of like a last step detailer. Now you can also use Jersey Devil, which again is like an SiO2 quick detailer, waterless wash, whatever you want to call it. So these two are very similar from at least the application standpoint. So let's do this. Let's use Jersey Devil. I'm going to save this for another video. Let's apply this really quickly because it's super easy to apply and it'll give some protection onto the paint. So let's do that first. Actually, let's remove the sap first. Now with some sap, if it's fresh enough, you can just use isopropyl alcohol. Now I'm not diluting it. This is 70%. It's pretty strong, but it's not a big deal. that removes the sap, but sap always leaves some sort of a little pock mark, unfortunately. Might be able to wet sand that out later, so for now I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to get the sap off. Okay, sap is removed. So the isopropyl alcohol is a little bit gentler than using lacquer thinner, which you can use if you use it safely. It's okay. But, you know, I had this, and at 70%, it's strong enough to dissolve it. And, you know, it'll mar the paint a little bit, leave a little bit of marring and light scratching from the towel and being aggressive with it, and the chemical softening the paint a little bit. But that's okay. When I say softening, it's temporary. It does kind of swell the paint a little bit, and then it goes back to normal after a couple of minutes, so it's not a big deal. So let's just throw some protection on here just for now, and we will wrap the video up after that, and we'll save this for other videos to come. But at least the car is now cleaner, especially on the inside, for my parents to be able to drive it. So I'm going to grab the Jersey Devil. Just a nice generous application. The application of this is super easy, and you can be generous. It's okay. Don't have to worry about putting too much on here.
How's it look?
Oh, nice.
Oh, the sack come off good?
Yeah. At least some marring, you know, but oh, that is beautiful. Nice. It feels really good. Feels nice and slick. Love that.
I love it.
Nice. This stuff flashes away and leaves the paint nice and glossy and very slick. Feels great. You know, there's definitely some weird marks in this paint we're going to have to address. But that will be good for now. Let's protect the rest of it, and we'll be good to go. So guys, the paint is clean and slick, but it's got a lot of things going on. Lots of deep scratches and all sorts of things going on. But at least it is clean and slick and smooth and somewhat protected. That does have some nice protection in it, but you know, a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But I will definitely be polishing this and putting better protection for long-term durability. Wheels and tires will look really nice. Yep, they're looking nice and clean and fresh. Inside looks amazing. We used Dr. Beasley's leather lock on, did you use it on all the leather and plastics? Okay, nice. So all the dash also? Oh, not the dash. Okay. But yeah, the dash on this is just so shiny. It's the same with our car. Unfortunately, it's just made that way. So there's actually nothing on the dash, but all the plastics and leather in here, we used leather lock from Dr. Beasley. So it's all locked in, looking really nice and fresh. Oh yeah, now when my parents climb in here, it'll be nice and clean for them. That's much, much nicer. Now, like I mentioned, the trunk here has some weirdness going on. We're going to have to address that in a later video and show you guys what's going on here. I didn't even take measurements yet, so I'm not sure, but I have a feeling this was repainted, but we will see, because the texture on it, it just looks different than the rest of the paint. It's hard to tell on camera. I can just tell by looking at it, but we'll see. The stickers were removed. We have some, you know, stickers on here that we want to make the vehicle our own. You don't want someone else's stickers on here. So we ripped those off, cleaned all the glass. So she's looking good. Nice and glossy and shiny, looking decent for now. That was the beginning stages, and we'll work on this thing throughout the months and years. So guys, that's going to do it for the video. Wow, it got laid out and it's time for dinner. So this vehicle is now set for now. Like I said, I keep mentioning there will be more work on this vehicle, but you know, going through all of those different points inside and outside of the vehicle, it's a good thing to go over when you are looking for a car or if you're selling your car. In both instances, look for all those little things. Not to say again that it's used to talk the price down. It's basically just to get an idea of how the car was maintained and really what's going on in the inside and the outside of the car. Well guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with others who may enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And look forward to future videos with the new Sage Avalon. Ooh, that's a nice name for it, Sage. We will be including this in our weekend washes, so we'll keep track of it and we're going to keep it clean for them, well maintained. See, there's advantages to having your kids live with you. And if you guys are interested in any of the products or the tools that you saw us use today, check out the links below. I'll have them all listed down there for you. They'll go to either Car Supplies Warehouse, or to Amazon, or to AliExpress. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great week. Take care.